Just speeding by. Okay, so now I'll talk about and show how to create the animated banner. One caution is don't overdo it. You don't really need that many frames for your animation. 5 would be maximum. I would put maximum of 5 frames. So what you're going to do is use a panel in Photoshop under Window. We have a panel just for creating animations and even videos. And it's called the timeline. So the panel is called the timeline. There it is. Now, oddly enough, in this timeline and in Advanced Photoshop, I'm going to be showing you how to make a video in here. Weird sort of a thing to do, but you can do it. There are 2 modes. There is the timeline main mode, which is what we see now. This is the timeline main mode. And then over here there's a button and it says Create Frame Animation. That's where you want to be for this project. So I'll click on that. And the initial thing that I see is everything in my animation, okay? Everything on the screen is what I'm trying to say. I'm going to switch to the Move tool. And I'm going to begin showing you how to build the animation. So the concept here is that all of these layers have something on them that could either be turned on or turned off. So here's what I'm going to do. This is going to be some crazy stuff. I'm going to turn off Future Builders, and I'm going to turn off the text that says little people can do big things, and I'm going to turn off the glow, the white glow, and the dots, and leave on the owl in the background. So when people initially see this animation, the first thing that they're going to see is this owl in the background. Okay, that's the first frame. Frame 1 has just these items, the owl in the background. Now I'm going to add a new frame. By clicking on the New Frame button down at the bottom, it duplicates the current frame, which is what I want. It makes an exact duplicate. Here I'm going to try a little change here. I'm going to select on this owl layer, and I'm going to do a duplicate of it. Boom. Okay. Following? And then I'm going to make sure I'm doing this right. Hide one of the owls. Select the other owl. And Command T. Command T is scale. I'm going to make this owl head bigger because he's just too cool to have him be small like that. I'm going to press V for the Move tool and now move this owl head over because it's just so super cute. Okay, and press return. So now I have owl 1 layer. Oopsie, my bad. Owl 2 frame, and then owl 1 frame. Notice how on owl 1 frame I need to make sure I do not have the big one showing. That didn't exist before. So now I have frame 1, frame 2, frame 2, big guy, frame 1, little guy, big guy. Okay, I am doing this purposefully, making these changes as I go because it's what you're going to do. You're not going to have an exact idea of a trajectory to do this animation. You've never done it before, so I'm showing you some of the things that you might run into. Okay, I'm not going to show you a canned demo that goes perfectly with no mistakes or oddball things. That's not teaching you anything. What you need to be able to see is what happens if. So now I have frame 1 and frame 2. Then on frame 3, here, okay, I added another frame. It's a duplicate of 2. I'm going to show the words, the highlight here, and the words. Little people can do big things. And now I can see I have an issue regarding the placement of the text. So I will just make sure that that is the layer that is selected and just slide it over a hair. And then add another layer. it should duplicate this layer, or I should say frame. These are not layers, they are frames. So I'm clicking, I now have a duplicate of this one, and that gives me 4. And I'm going to make the text Future Builders show up, and oops, undo, Command Z, click on the correct layer, move the words Future Builder over, and for kicks and giggles, I will go back to my Styles panel and see what happens if I add that style I created earlier. Okay, there it is. And then I'm going to hide the Styles panel and duplicate one more time and turn the dots on. Okay, that's it. The last thing, however, that you would need in your animation is a button that sends you to the microsite conceptually. Okay, so on this last frame, I'm going to add a new layer that didn't exist before and talk about this content that I wanted to talk about here, shape tools, quickly. Not a difficult thing, but an important one. This is the shape tools button. And you'll notice that on the side flyout, we have custom shape tool, line tool, polygon, ellipse, rectangle. I'm going to go to the one called custom shape because if you look here on screen, very, very important, I click on the down arrow, you can see all of the current custom shapes available. I might probably want to use an arrow, but if you click on this gear button and then you look to the side, there are a lot of helpful icons. Okay. So many of these have things that you might want in your navigation as opposed to feeling like you have to draw things in Illustrator that you may not be able to draw. This is a resource that you can use. So perhaps I want something from symbols. I'm not even sure what this will give me, but I'm clicking on symbols and I'm going to append or add to. And now if I pull this down, I should see all these new things here. These are all symbols that just got added. So I'll show again, gear, and I'll pick banners and awards, or arrows. Let's do arrows. Arrows, append. And now I have a whole another set of possible things I could use for my button. I want to use this arrow. So I select it, I've clicked it, I think I've clicked it, I've double clicked it, and now I'm going to click and draw out and it gives me that arrow. Now it's in white because that's the color that's on the top. So I think we better use that green again. There's not enough crazy green in here. Okay, make a nice bright light green and click OK. It did not change color. Why? Because I didn't use the right color box, but there's the color. Boom. It is so ugly. I don't think I can make this look any worse. Let's try to put it blue. That's a little better. All right, but a kid wouldn't necessarily do that. They'll like do that, you know. Be like, oh, look, Miss Rudner, it's beautiful. Like, yes, it is. It's great. All right, so I'm going to go with this pink color because I think that's what she would choose. Or maybe this blue. All right, so you get the idea. There's a green color. Now, you may be wondering, what can you do to this to make it any different? Let's say you really dig this arrow. It's really everything you want an arrow to be except for one problem, and that is you want it longer. I'm going to zoom in, Command plus, and see if I can show you how I could customize this shape. Going over to the arrow or direct selection tool in my tool set, and I'm clicking away first and then right on the corner and holding the shift key and then the other corner of the left side of the arrow, because what this actually is a vector mask. So I can adjust it which I just did by moving those 2 points to the left. So if I want this part to be taller here, I can click on this point. I'll move it 10, 20 pixels up, and I'll move this one 10, 20 pixels down. All right, I'll undo that, and just move them up 10. Okay, so click, shift arrow up, click, shift arrow down. And back to my styles panel, apply my exciting style. And this is my call to action button, right, that I need on my banner. And so I'm going to choose my typeface. And I'm going to pick white. And it's going to give me Cooper Black Basics 42, probably too big. But I'll make it 12, which might be too small. But I'm going to click somewhere. Again, let's try that again. Click. Text tool, click. All right, pressing escape key. And now I'm pressing the L, learn more. Dot, dot, dot. Arrow tool, move the text. Come on, baby. Okay, learn more about little people can do big things. This would be conceptually the call to action button. Learn more. Right, so I know that your work is going to be way more sophisticated than this, but this was a fun one to play with, so I wanted to resurrect it. All right, now I have everything I need, all in place for my animation. And I have the 5 frames, frame 1, frame 2, frame 3, frame 4, frame 5. Now what's going on, again, is that this arrow situation needs to be turned off, as well as the learn more text, for all of the layers except for number 5. And here's where it's only should be on, number 5. And I'll look at it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what my animation is going to do. You with me? All right, I'm going to save the file, Command S. It is now saved. Now, if you can take a look here at the bottom, there is 0 seconds at the bottom of each one of these frames. I'm going to talk about that in the next part of the movie.